Hey there, everyone. I hope you're all doing good. Stasma here for a new Gear Talk video about my Intellijel system. I think it's one of the systems that I have since the longest time without changing anything to it. The only last addition I made was to remove a line out and to add that expression control thing from Ritual Electronics. But we're here to talk about Intellijel. For a long time I was considering it as the Meg Atlantis, a sort of more crazy version of the Atlantis, in itself an iteration of the SH-101 made by Intellijel as a module, as it does also have quite a bit of West Coast style modules, such as this Quadra, which is a quad function generator, and the U-fold. And now that Intellijel has made the Cascadia, which is their first desktop synthesizer that I haven't tried, that I would love to, I feel that what I have here is a homemade Cascadia before they even did it. Doesn't take anything out of the Cascadia itself. This is just my love letter to the old school analog design that Intellijel made before. What I want to do today with you is to patch the SH-101. And to celebrate the West Coast part of this system, we are also going to try to patch the Buchla music Easel, or at least the audio part of it. Okay, let's go for it. Let's unpatch this. By the way, this is an exercise I love to do when I teach. Like, tell me what's your favorite synthesizer, and let's try to patch it up with the modular stuff. And you often realize that like fixed architecture synths are quite complex under the hood, actually. Even though you don't have the freedom of patching, there's a lot of things taught for you in advance, usually in a good way. And the SH-101 is one of the best examples of that. Let's start with the audio. The SH-101 does have only one oscillator, but we have many waveforms mixed in a mixer, so we can blend them together and create new ones. We're going to use the Rubicon for that, because does have all the necessary waveforms. Let's listen to it at the same time. So we need a saw wave, a pulse wave with pulse width modulation, a sub-oscillator, can be 1 or 2 octaves down the fundamental. And there's also white noise in this mixer. Then all this goes to a low-pass, 24 dB low-pass filter that will then go to a VCA. So my VCA is open. Everything is going to the filter. Let's start with the sub. I like to start with the sub and to blend the rest on top. The Dr. Octator does nail the Roland sound. I stay in the mono mode, which is the original sounding type of filter where you lose volume when you increase the resonance. It does have that quad mode that doesn't do it, but it doesn't sound as vintage Roland. Okay, now let's patch up the controls. We need our keyboard to control our VCO, and to send gates to our envelope generator, our ADSR, that's going to control the VCA. This one can be pretty snappy, I love it. Typically the kind of stuff you could do with the 101 or 202. I have this little sequence that I made earlier. Then, in the 101, you can choose also what is going to control the pulse width. The classic would be an LFO. I'm going to use the Dixie over here. I love that sound. It could also be the envelope generator. Taking the inverted out so I don't have to use a mode. And then there's of course the modulation to the filter. This is where it gets a bit complicated. We actually need a full mixer because on the original you have one slider per modulation to the filter that you can all mix together. So I'm going to send that quadra output to FM1 up full, and from there I will send the keyboard for keyboard tracking of the filter, the LFO, the envelope generator, and the sample and hold. As this is modular, we could of course decide to go full nuts. I'm just going to show you just a few things that I would do. Like use the LFO at audio rate with an oscillator basically as a modulator. Which is great to have those talking filter tones. Can make some sort of a long envelope for this. One other thing would be to make the oscillator fully unstable using the noise tool to make a proper random voltage. And send that just a tiny bit. Let's send the same thing to the pulse width modulation. The idea is to make those, put some noise in the mix as well. This kind of broken tape sound, sort of Bolt Canada-esque thing. Could of course use the joystick or any other stuff. Let's just take advantage of that expression control. I could totally see myself playing this with this as a foot controller. And we could actually use that modulation. Let's take the output of that second VCA, send my wobbly modulation as an input, and duplicate the foot control voltage. As a control. Can probably max out our attenuator a little bit. What's going to happen is we have a straight sounding tone when the control is not engaged, and it gets wonkier. This is good. Okay, let's try to do the Buchla music easel. Okay, in terms of audio, the easel has two oscillators. One that is the sound oscillator and the other one that is the modulation oscillator, even though we can use both for audio. But the main one is a triangle to a wave folder. Maybe a sine to a wave folder. To a VCA, which is a low-pass gate. We are going to mimic the low-pass gate, actually. A low-pass gate is a 6 dB low-pass filter and a VCA at the same time. So I'm going to send the output of my wave folder to the Dr. Octature, no resonance at all, and take the 6 dB per octave output. Let's put put the blue sky in spring mode. Okay, I'm going to record a 5-step sequence. Because the Buchla music Easel does have a 5-step sequencer. And I'm going to trigger one channel of the quadra. Let's control the filter as well. There's one gate that's not going through, I don't know why. But then, let's use the second oscillator to modulate things. Let's also send the keyboard to it. But throw an attenuator to make a different scale. It's already way too tonal. And let's use that to control the wave folder. Then we need some random. Let's use the sample and hold here. Let's control the envelope length. That's pretty close to the sound I would expect to get out of an Easel. We still have much more available. But let's call it a day. It's probably already a long video. Bravo, Intellijel. One of the best brands in the Euro rack. Always been amazed by their stuff. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll leave some samples out of this session on my Patreon, as always. Feel free to go support over there if you want to grab many samples that I've already made, plus the new ones to come. You can also get some teaching if you want about modular or about live or whatever, breakcore, stuff like this. You can also buy some gear from the affiliate links below if you want to support the channel. Ooh, that's good. Melodic bongo. See you next time. Bye bye.